New details into the planning and organizing of the Capitol Hill riots indicate that there were actually Republican members of Congress who were allegedly involved in the planning. This is according to Ali Alexander, who claimed that there were House Republicans, 3 House Republicans involved in helping to organize what took place in the Capitol. Of course, these riots resulted in a total of 5 people dying. Absolutely horrendous behavior. You have rioters breaching the Capitol building. Horrific video emerged from that. And we're still learning details into what was taking place behind the scenes leading up to those riots. So I'm gonna go ahead and read from The Intercept and give you some of the details that they found. The head of the House Freedom Caucus, Republican Representative Andy Biggs, for instance, he's from Arizona, apparently helped plan the January 6th riots that culminated in storming the Capitol building. And again, that's according to Ali Alexander, who's the lead organizer of what took place. Alexander is a pro-Trump personality and was the early founder of the Stop the Steal movement. And he mentions 2 other lawmakers, Representatives Paul Gosar of Arizona and Mo Brooks of Alabama, who were also involved. Here's what he said. Alexander says that we're the 4 guys who came up with the January 6th event. On December 8th, for instance, the Arizona Republican Party boosted Alexander, asking supporters if they were willing to give their lives in the fight over the results of the presidential election. I'm sure most people in our audience already know that the allegations of widespread voter fraud have gone unproven. The Trump campaign has lost dozens of court battles because they failed to provide a shred of evidence regarding their allegations of widespread voter fraud. Now, Alexander's claim, by the way, is reinforced by a 4th video from a December 19th rally at the Arizona State Capitol, at which Alexander played a video that Biggs had supplied. And in that video, Representative Biggs mentions Brooks at his rally in the fight. Gosar spoke in person at that event as well. So when we're having discussions, when we're having conversations about not only holding Donald Trump accountable for what happened in the Capitol, but ensuring that Republican lawmakers who enabled him are held accountable. This is what we're talking about. These are people who it goes beyond like, little hints. It goes beyond implying that people should engage in violence. We're talking about Republican lawmakers, elected officials who, according to this latest report by The Intercept, were front and center in helping to organize the violence that took place that day. And there should be an investigation in their involvement, and there should be consequences, because if there aren't any consequences, they will be further emboldened by that. And I think people are nuts if they think that the violence that broke out last week is the end of it. We have 75 million Americans in this country who voted for Donald Trump, many of whom genuinely believe that the election was stolen as a result of these people enabling Donald Trump's lies. And to just leave it alone and pretend as if this never happened is absolutely, it's an abdication of duty. It's just absolutely disgusting, and I don't agree with it at all. They need to be held accountable, and there should be a full investigation into Alexander's claims.
Yeah, absolutely. The claims that he made on December 21st, this was like in a live stream apparently. And the best part about it is that this, once again, this administration produces just so many Klingon grifters and people trying to get some shine off the, MAGA gravy train of nut jobs. And so Alexander's like, time and again, he's like, well, I'm the one who had the idea. So like, it was my idea, which is gonna be really fun if any of these representatives actually seek or see justice, to have them be like, well, it was like Ali Alexander's idea. So I don't even know why you're asking me about it. Like, it's just like, oh really? Did an online like MAGA personality convince you that storming the Capitol and setting everyone up for a riot was a good idea? Look, the first thing I want out of these representatives is for them to go live right now, record a video of themselves saying, no, there was no electoral fraud. No, Donald Trump did not win. Joe Biden won. I don't know why I said that. I don't know, use the Twinkie defense, something. But like, seriously, they need to, step one, correct the misinformation. And step two, let's see if they can keep their jobs. But like, look, Anna, we've been talking since Wednesday, right? That what was happening on the inside of the Capitol and on the outside of the Capitol were ultimately mirror, two different sides of the same exact undemocratic coin. One incredibly violent, the other one, just a ridiculous process to overturn a democratic election. And we knew that there were connections. We knew, okay, there's something fishy going on. What is the involvement with the higher ups in the Capitol Police Department? What's going on here? Everyone was asking questions. There's gotta be links. Well, look, there are links. There they are. Mm-hmm. They were just openly and straight up planning with these rioters.
Now, what I also want to remind everyone about is that following the riots, following word of people literally dying as a result of the riots, Representative Mo Brooks felt the need to justify what took place. He tried to, put like a, argue that this wasn't something. This isn't being interpreted correctly, that there was a justification for what took place. And what we saw was lawlessness. What we saw was brutal treatment toward Capitol Police, who in some of the horrific videos that we saw following the riots were overwhelmed by this mob of people who refused to accept the reality of the presidential election. And so the question now is, first of all, I believe in justice, and so having one person accuse members of Congress of being involved in the actual organizing is one thing, but we do need a full investigation, and we need to make sure we know all the facts and what their true involvement has been. But if they are found guilty, if they are found actually helping to organize the violence that takes place, well, what options do we have? And so we've heard about impeachment or the 25th Amendment when it comes to Donald Trump. But the 14th Amendment, Section 3 has been brought up in regard to these members of Congress. And let me read you what Section 3 of the 14th Amendment ratified, of course, after the Civil War reads, no person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of the president and vice president or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or as a member of any state legislature, or as very thorough, or as an executive or judicial officer of any state to support the Constitution of the United States shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. But Congress may by a vote of 2/3 of each house remove such disability. So there is an option to actually hold these lawmakers to account for their involvement. Again, there needs to be a full-blown investigation into their involvement, how they engaged in the organizing for the riots that took place, and if they are found guilty, if there's evidence that they actually did engage in organizing this, they absolutely should suffer the consequences. But let me be clear about one other thing. We heard the rhetoric coming from Gosar. We heard the rhetoric coming from Republican lawmakers who knew full well that there was not widespread voter fraud, but they decided to enable Trump anyway. Those people should be considered, Amendment 14, Section 3. They should be taken out of Congress because they don't actually have the best interests of the American people, of our democracy, of their own constituents in mind. The only thing they've cared about throughout this entire process is enabling Donald Trump for their own political careers. Those people are not fit to lead, they're not fit to represent the American people, and they have no business serving in Congress or any leadership role at all, period.
Bye, Felicia. Yeah. Bye, 14th Amendment, bye. Oh, bye. Yeah. Oh, no, 14th Amendment, why don't you get recalled by your constituency? Bye. Like, this is the thing. It absolutely matters that we try and get these fools out. It matters. You got to cut off the head of this snake and the people these wannabe snakes who think that they can step into the shoes, who think that after turning on Mike Pence, calling for him to be hanged, after turning on Lindsey Graham, two of the most Trumpian loyalists, that somehow, they're gonna be spared, that Mo Brooks and Holly and Paul Gosar, they're gonna be spared by the mob? No. No one is spared by the mob. You give more leeway to fascism, and guess what? They're gonna chew you up and spit you out. Thank you for sicking them on America, you stupid idiots. So anyway, I am excited that this exists, and I just want to lastly say that the fact that the 14th Amendment was put into place after the Civil War, hello people, let's just let's put the pieces together. The fact that rioters were carrying Confederate flags through the halls of the Capitol building, put the pieces together here, you guys. There is a long and awful and ugly legacy of white supremacy. It's over. Pack it up, we're done.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat, emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.